At first, it always looks like a motivation problem. You start something new, you're consistent for a few days. Everything feels under control. Then suddenly, it breaks. You stop going to the gym. You stop studying. You stop following your plan. And you tell yourself the same story. I just lost motivation. But motivation is not the real system at work here. Something else is happening underneath. And it explains why this pattern repeats in almost every area of your life. Today, you'll understand that system, and once you see it, you'll recognize it everywhere. System number 1, the effort debt loop. Every time you start something new, your brain calculates something automatically. It doesn't think in goals, it thinks in cost. At the beginning, the cost feels low. You're excited, you're optimistic. You ignore difficulty. So you commit to a version of yourself that requires high effort. But effort doesn't stay stable. It accumulates. Each day adds a small, invisible debt. Fatigue, resistance, boredom, mental friction. You don't notice it at first, but your brain does. And at some point, the cost of continuing becomes higher than the emotional reward. That's when you stop, not because you failed, because the system became too expensive to maintain. System number 2, the identity mismatch trigger. There is another layer underneath. When you start a habit, you are not yet the person that habit requires. So you are constantly negotiating with yourself. I should do it. I'll do it later. I'll restart tomorrow. This internal conflict drains energy faster than the habit itself, because every action requires justification. But when identity and behavior don't match long enough, something breaks. The brain chooses the easier identity to maintain, the version of you that doesn't do it because it requires less mental effort. So quitting is not random. It is the brain resolving inconsistency. It chooses stability over ambition. System number 3, the reset illusion. After quitting, something interesting happens. You don't see it as failure. You see it as a reset, a new plan, a new start, a new version of the same system. But nothing actually changes. The structure is identical. High expectations leads to early effort, leads to rising resistance, leads to collapse, leads to restart. This creates a loop. And the most dangerous part is this. The loop feels like progress because you are always starting again. But in reality, you are just repeating the same structure. Conclusion. You don't quit because you lack discipline. You quit because the system you built is designed to collapse. If you want consistency, you don't need more motivation. You need a system that does not accumulate invisible cost too fast. Smaller actions, lower resistance, no identity conflict. Because the goal is not to push harder. It is to build something that does not require pushing at all.